Alright everybody, hello, we are back with another video. Here's your boy Guark, and today we are at Monza, the Temple of Speed. Pretty mid-track for me. I'd probably confidently say top 10 in my best tracks, but I probably wouldn't confidently say top 5. I'd say about 7th best track for me, so definitely a better result than what we're going to see at places like Japan or China, or Silverstone for that matter. I don't think I'm the best at Silverstone. Spain is another one. I think I'll be better than them results, but definitely not as good as Netherlands. Or, I'm trying to think of another goddamn track I'm actually good at. I mean, Hungary I was pretty decent at. I'd say Hungary and Monza I'm quite similar at when it comes to pace. Definitely not as good at that I am at Spa or Netherlands though. Two of my favourite tracks on the calendar. But anyway, coming into qualifying, enough chit chat, enough yapping. We're into qualifying, we've done our FP sessions, we've maxed it out. So, into qualifying we will first set up our setup. That didn't make any sense, but we will move. We're going to set 6 kilograms of fuel, so we have enough to actually do 3 laps. And put our front wing to 2.0. So the original setup is 3.0, but we'll put it to 2.0.
Everyone ready?
Just so we have a little bit more straight line speed, because I believe I can still do all the corners just fine. You know, we could probably even tip that down a little bit more, but we don't decide to. We're going to stick on the 2.0 for the rest of the weekend. So coming and qualifying. Leaving the pit lane, we're going to be stuck behind what I believe is Gabriel Bortoletto. Yes, it is Gabriel Bortoletto. We are going to be behind. Also on the track is our teammate a Haas and a Red Bull. But coming around the famous Parabolica, going to try and take a wide line so we have as much straight line speed as we can coming down this. We decided not to use the RS. It's tactical, I promise, to not use the RS. Then we decided to use a little bit just before the end of the straight because we are smart like that. Round turn 1 and 2, pretty decent through there. Everything looks absolutely fine at the end of sector 1. It's a 26.868, so decent first sector. Out of the middle sector then we get 54.036, so once again staying quite decent. I would say it's definitely not going to be one of the fast laps. We get a little bit of a tow from Lawson, which sets us at a 120.682. which, as we're leaving pit lane for our second lap, will set us at P20. And as you can see, other cars leaving the garage at the same time. There goes the Sauber, there goes the Red Bull, there goes the Haas, and now we're allowed out, but we will have a Haas and an Aston Martin behind us by the looks of things on the map. Maybe a V-Carb as well. I don't know if he's going to leave the pit lane. I think he's already done his second lap, but we decided to slow down to let the cars behind us in front. We want as much clean air as we can. We don't want any traffic around us, and we get just that. So with 20 seconds left on the clock to cross the line, we do cross the line. All the RS, everything foot to the absolute floor, and we've already gained nearly 2 tenths. There's the 2 tenths. And in turn 1 we brake a little bit later, we still cover that first curb, just tap the second curb, and we don't use the exit curb at all. So by the end of sector 1 it is purple, we're a whole second up, it's a 25.810 in the first sector as Charles Leclerc gets on provisional pole. At the end of the middle sector we're 1.6 seconds up and it's a 52.372 in the middle sector as we come around the exit of Ascari. And out of the final famous Parabolica, we're 1.8 seconds up nearly, and that sets us at quite a beautiful from P20 to P3 on the grid. So we're starting up the second row. We're going to be on the grippy side of the track as well, I believe. So that should help us at the starts, but take it away, Crofty.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today, here at the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes, And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc
Okay,
yesterday,
so we've got to keep his
and
pole.
it's
That's
put him
pretty
on
good from
pole.
the Ferrari.
And
That
Max
is home
Verstappen
race.
lines up alongside.
Verstappen will be a
Moving
bit of
on
a
to
threat
the rest
there.
of the grid,
But
we
who's
have
in third? Who's in third? Who's in third?
Crawford, Piastri, George Russell, and Norris, Antonelli,
Where's our teammate?
Tsunoda, Hamilton, and Alex
Oh,
Albon.
that's terrible from the other
Fernando
Ferrari.
Alonso, Stroll,
Aston Martin sick for a
Carlos
lockout.
Sainz, and Ocon. Verschoor, Gasly,
There's our teammate all the way down in
Nico
15th. That's pretty
Hülkenberg,
terrible.
and Jack Doohan. Lawson, Bortoletto, Hadja, and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid.
With a penalty.
Now it's almost time for lights
So it's
out.
pretty alright
So
grid.
let's
I'm
go
quite
down to the
surprised by our
track.
teammate. Quite surprised by Lewis Hamilton, to be honest. But anyway, onto the grid. We're doing a medium, hard setup for the strategy today. It's looking all sunny with a little bit of cloud at the end. When we underfuel, we're expecting a safety car. I usually get a safety car around this track when I've done it in old career mode saves. But anyway, formation lap is a go, and I can see a lot of medium tyres on the cars. I think I see a hard tyre on the Mercedes. Yes, I do. Kimi Antonelli on the hards, Lando Norris on the hards, Alexander Albon on the hards, Gasly, and then both the Saubers on the hards. Saubers always seem to be on hard tyres. Do they have bad tyre wear or something? Probably. But anyway, coming round the final corner for most of the cars, some of us already on the grid. And there we see us in third place with our new sponsor, which I think I mentioned all the way back in Hungary or the Netherlands. It's a beautiful car, look at that, in third place. Where can we get her today? As the cars all line up on the grid. Ollie Behrman rounding off the final row. And now the lights coming on. 3, 4, 5. And we are racing at Monza in Italy. It's really wheel spinny start from us. We get a second snap and we massively hold up George Russell as well. And Tsunoda jumps up into fourth place. Piastri already in third. Charles Leclerc lead on the grid though, as now we try and slide to the left hand side of Yuki Tsunoda. We get into the grass though. Catch a little bit of oversteer. And now Esteban Ocon is coming around the outside of us. And Esteban Ocon does get around the outside of us. So drop down all the way down into P6. It's not a good start from us, but we're following Esteban Ocon all the way around the Curva Grande. Using ERS as well to try and power through. We do get that position back and up into P5 for us as we come into the second chicane. Charles Leclerc leads from Max Verstappen, from Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Jack Crawford, Esteban Ocon, and then George Russell is the top 7 at the moment. As we come around Lesmo 1. And we're going to get to cut all the way to lap 3 because there was absolutely nothing going on. So as we come around the final corner, we set a 1:22.572, which is the fastest lap of the race with a beautiful first sector. And now on lap 6, we're on the DRS of Oscar Piastri, who's chasing down Max Verstappen, and also crucially in that battle is the Red Bull teammate of Yuki Tsunoda. Max Verstappen gets through on Yuki Tsunoda. Oscar Piastri just following, just behind. We clip the grass a little bit, and we have to go a little bit wider than we would have wanted. Through Ascari and a little bit wide again. So we don't get a good exit out of Ascari. Oscar Piastri gets to run away a little bit, but we are still in the DRS of the McLaren and both Red Bulls. As we come around the famous Parabolica. And Oscar Piastri and Yuki Tsunoda wheel to wheel around the final corner. It's absolutely beautiful. Max Verstappen leading it. But he is not going to have DRS. Piastri with the DRS, Tsunoda with the DRS, and us with the DRS as well. Piastri and Tsunoda right to the right hand side of the straight. We move to the left hand side of Max Verstappen, who goes defensively, and round the outside of Max Verstappen at turn 1. And we do get through. We give Piastri a little bit of a love tap as well. Max Verstappen trying to hold out on the outside of us as well. We get a little bit snap of oversteer, and Max Verstappen has to break out of it. So I don't think Max Verstappen's going to be able to challenge us into the second chicane, and it doesn't look likely. But up into P4, nearly fighting back to our starting grid position of P3, just ahead of Oscar Piastri. Charles Leclerc has a good lead though. Max Verstappen around the outside of us, around Parabolica on lap 7, turning into lap 8, but we're going to have DRS. Verstappen's going to have DRS, George Russell's going to have DRS. The only one without DRS is Oscar Piastri, and we're going to be absolutely swarming him into turn 1. Piastri goes massively defensive, and we're going to pick the outside line. Piastri all over that curb of turn 1, and it messes him up on the exit as we get through and up into P. Net P3, currently P2 because Charles Leclerc has pitted at the moment. So, net P3, current P2, Yuki Tsunoda temporarily leading the race here as we now come into the pits. And there goes both Red Bulls. Piastri joins us in the pits, and so does George Russell. So taking P3 is Lando Norris, then Alex Albon in P4. As there comes Lewis Hamilton into the pits, and I believe that's Kimi Antonelli continuing on. Yes it is, there goes Antonelli and Gasly. That's a pretty good stop from us, 2.4, so we get out ahead of Oscar Piastri and George Russell. And Charles Leclerc comes out ahead of us, and there goes both Saubers as well, and Liam Lawson, so P11 coming out the pit lane, and Ollie Behrman just behind us as well, but we come out ahead of Ollie Behrman. Lap 9 then come around Parabolica once again, and we're going to go nice little move on Liam Lawson, sorry, who was actually trying to pit, so he clips us on the rear, trying to get to the right hand side and into the pit lane. We get a warning for it, but we don't care about that because we have made the move and up into P9, and it looks like it's about to P8 as we come down into turn 1. It's a massive break from us, and up into P8 for us, ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. And hopefully Nico Hülkenberg can hold up Oscar Piastri as well. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do so though, but we do now have Gabriel Bortoletto who can help us against Oscar Piastri as well as we go down the inside of him at Ascar, and it's a lovely line through there despite the overtake. So up to P7 for us, Gasly yet to pit, and you can already see the Red Bulls are pitting, so it's now lap 2. As on lap 17 we're coming around the scarring, we get a little bit of a snap and we have to snap back on it, and the car's just come loose from us, and what looked like an easy P2, 10-second gap to Lando Norris. Of course not going to catch Charles Leclerc, but that's going to massively hurt us now as we come into the pit lane. Charles Leclerc, who has already pitted, he's already come around the Parabolica, and Charles Leclerc has already passed us before we even get into the pit box. As we get a nice easy turn in as well, Oscar Piastri, Max Verstappen and Nico Hülkenberg are the cars behind us. It's another 2.4 in the pit lane as neither Piastri or Verstappen pits. But it looks like we should have come out ahead of Nico Hülkenberg, which we do so. So Charles Leclerc leads from Oscar Piastri, from Max Verstappen, from us, and then Hülkenberg and Tsunoda, or Norris actually. Norris is now in P6, Tsunoda P7. Lap 26, 27, and we can see the fuel situation is not doing good. We did not get the safety car that we needed. And now it's Lando Norris coming around the outside of us as we did a massive amount of fuel saving in the last 5 or 6 laps. And we're just managing to hold on against Lando Norris to hold a P5, could be a P4 as we're chasing Norris back down this main straight, starting the final lap of this race. Lando Norris moves to the right hand side, he goes defensively, we're going to move to the left hand side, we're going to go wheel to wheel down in towards turn 1, slightly later brakes from us, and we just about hold that outside line, turns into the inside for turn 2, and we get back ahead of Lando Norris, back up into P4, but I don't think it's going to stay that way because the fuel situation going on, and there's not going to be a way to hold off Lando Norris or Yuki Tsunoda. And as we come through the famous Ascari, we try and do a little bit more lifting, but there it is, low fuel mode, and Lando Norris moves to the left hand side of us. Lando Norris overtakes Yuki Tsunoda, catching up quicker and quicker by every meter, and Yuki Tsunoda goes around the outside. We try and hold up Yuki Tsunoda, try and hold on to at least a P5. We don't do that. Yuki Tsunoda gets ahead, our teammate's the one behind, and we know he's faster. We don't want to hold him up against Esteban Ocon, so we let him ahead. Esteban Ocon then gets round us, so it looks like it's only going to be a P8 from us. What looked like a certain P2 before our spin turns into P8 post spin and post low fuel mode, and Esteban Ocon gets driver of the day as well. It's not a good race from us, really hoping for that safety car. Safety car never came, and that is P8 for Jack Crawford. It's P6 by Richard Verschoor as well, so really good from Richard Verschoor, recovering from P15 in qualifying. But the home man, the scooter is home at Monza, and who else but Charles Leclerc to take that flag. Charles Leclerc wins the Italian Grand Prix at Ferrari's home. It was Max Verstappen, I believe, in P2 and Oscar Piastri in P3.
Only 3 can take to the podium, and here they come. And who gets to take the top step of the podium?
Yeah, Oscar Piastri P3, Max Verstappen P2. But that is somewhere where we should have been. if we didn't have our spin, if we didn't get held up by the Saubers on our first pit stop. There could have been a lot of things that changed today. If we didn't underfuel a car expecting a safety car. Hopefully won't make that mistake again coming into Baku. Oh, I've just looked at the time and FP3 started a minute ago. So let's hope this video gets wrapped up soon. We have 5 more minutes of the video left. But not a good race from us. Not a good race at all. Very disappointed. P6 by Verschoor, P8 by us. So in the standings it's P8 by Richard Verschoor and P11 for Jack Crawford. If we stuck on to at least a P4, we would have been up to P9 with Jack Crawford. Max Verstappen ends up taking a fastest lap as well for 21.6. 4 drivers set 21s. And here's me reviewing the fact that if I just got 6 more points, we would have been ahead of Fernando Alonso in P9. And of course, you look at the point difference between 4th and 8th. It's 8 points. We would have been ahead. We would have been tied on points if we just finished 5th ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. But unfortunately, on this occasion, we couldn't beat out Fernando Alonso, so we're going to have to wait till Baku for that. But now you join us back at the HQ on the week off, before Baku, after Monza, just setting up our activities now. Hopefully we get a better weekend at Baku, which I feel a little bit more confident in. I'm not going to say Baku's another really good track of mine, but I'd say I have some confidence in it. It's another track that I have done some time trials in, and according to a website, I'm not going to say how trusted the website is, and they're not getting free advertising from me, so I'm not going to say their name, but I put my data in from my time trial session. I took half an hour at Baku, and it said I should be on max AI difficulty. Now, I don't know if I showed it at the start of this series, as we actually have a meeting with Franco Colapinto, so I'll get back to this conversation in a minute. Here comes Franco Colapinto into the office. It'll be lovely to have Franco, but I am on board with the Philando pairing, Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso. And Franco seems like an easier driver to get. He has lower expectations than Lando and Fernando. But anyway, back onto our talk. I did about half an hour in time trials at Baku, and it said I should have been on max AI difficulty. If you weren't here on episode 1, because I can't actually remember if I showed it, but I was on 95 AI difficulty, I think. It's mid-90s, it's either 93 or 95 AI difficulty. As we now see Lewis Hamilton is retiring from Formula 1 at the end of the season, so a Ferrari space will open up, hopefully taken by Ollie Behrman. Because I like Ollie Behrman. So I wouldn't say I'm confident enough to say that I can actually go to 110 AI, no. That just takes your best lap, not your average lap. If it took in my average laps, because I was improving every lap, then I would say 95 seems about right. But anyway, into Baku, we'll drive as Richard Verschoor as Will Crawford in Monza, and that signifies the end of the video. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. I don't get why people aren't subscribing. Come on, do it. Do it. Please subscribe. But anyway, I'll see you folks later. Goodbye.